Janice, are you there?
At your service, sir.
What you got for me?
Article from Psychology Today, sir.
Yes, and 35% of our audience are women.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I do believe
we were appealing to the 50-plus-year-old men, and the women are coming on like gangbusters, and we love it.
Yeah.
And
because we want to know what the F is going on with you guys.
Exactly.
Female behavioral analyst explains why men stay single. Eligible bachelors. Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. We just wanted to highlight this recent article from Psychology Today, written by Dr. Wendy L. Patrick. She is a career attorney, behavioral analyst, author of Red Flags, and co-author of Reading People. Now, before we get into the article, I want to highlight something real quick. Check this out. Why men stay single. The reason why many eligible bachelors choose to remain unattached. The key word is eligible. Janice.
Eligible. Having the necessary qualities or satisfying the necessary conditions. Are you eligible for early retirement/maternity leave? You might be eligible for a grant. Only people over 18 are eligible to vote.
If you study women, you will find that 9 out of 10 times, their only concern is eligible men. We've highlighted this many times on this channel. Women complain about being invisible and then telling themselves by rejecting the average Joe. Check this out.
Well, see, one of the problems here is that the good guys that didn't go through menopause, and
they may have.
Oh yeah,
they may have, but they made it through.
Maybe they did, but maybe they were too smart to just give up on things and get themselves a fast car and a young woman. You guys are taken. So what remains are all the ones that nobody else wants.
Oops. Okay, we have to stop right here. Okay.
So when a woman says she's invisible, she means she's invisible to eligible men. Okay? So women need to be more specific because we all know that most women are not attracted to most men. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do because we men ain't we? Shit. Single by choice. Notwithstanding the proliferation and popularity of dating apps, it is also true that many people enjoy the freedom and flexibility of single life. Even many daters are reluctant to take relationships to the next level if it involves sacrificing autonomy and independence. Indeed, we all have friends who lead fulfilling lives, who seem perfectly content keeping romantic relationships at arm's length, often to the dismay of partners seeking greater intimacy. We tend to psychoanalyze relationship-reluctant individuals as if something was wrong with them. What happened to them in the past? Were they abandoned in childhood? Did an ex-partner betray them? We also stereotype men as more likely to be gun-shy regarding rational intimacy or walking down the aisle. Well, this is a good one. Professor Cronin of the Dating Project began her dating assignment with this idea, with this bias, that it was the guys who wanted hookups. And she figured out that it was women that prefer hookups. And a big reason why women prefer hookup culture is because they are only concerned with eligible men, and there are not a lot of them in their opinion. So they sleep with them for clout or to score points for the sisterhood because a lot of these guys don't want to commit. Please watch our video called What Happens to the Quote-Unquote Unicorn? A great example of how things go down in college. Let's continue. Sometimes relationship reluctance is indeed due to a past betrayal or broken heart. Other times, however, it is simply due to a personal preference. According to research for self-assured men, in particular singlehood signals success and satisfaction. Single and satisfied, the significance of self-esteem. Menelaos Apostolou, I hope I didn't butcher the man's name, and Rafaela Philippou explored the effects of self-esteem and desirable traits on the decision to remain single. They distinguished between involuntarily singlehood defined as people who would rather be in an intimate relationship and those who are single by choice. They investigated the link between possessing valuable traits that people prefer in a partner and self-esteem on singlehood status. They found that self-esteem was a significant predicator of marital status for men. Higher scores correlated with a higher probability of being in a relationship or single by choice rather than involuntarily single. they found no such link between self-esteem and marital status for women. You see, we talk about this all the time, especially when these women are crying about Chad and Tyrone. These men come with a different mindset, an abundance mindset. They are pretty confident that they can get with another woman because they have options. That's when getting with a woman becomes a choice. It's not rocket science. An incel is gonna have less confidence dealing with women than a Chad. You don't need skills to attract women if you look good. I have some friends, ex-colleagues, guys that I went to school with that just showed up and women went nuts. Do you know what all these guys had in common? Good looks and confidence, because it was not the first time girls/women approached them. Let's continue. The deception of desirability. Apostolou and Philippou also looked at the impact of desirable traits on relationship status. They noted that, as referenced in current literature, such traits include intelligence, good character, appearance, social status, and resource acquisition potential. The researchers observed that people who lack such qualities would find it harder to attract and retain intimate partners. However, Apostolou and Philippou found that generally for both genders, self-ratings of desirability did not directly predict marital status. However, some traits had significant indirect effects on men, the largest being good looks. I told you so. Let's continue. Good looks, where higher scores were linked with higher self-esteem, which was associated with a higher likelihood of being in a relationship or single by choice. This is pure gold. This is why the manosphere keeps growing, because we are dropping those truth bombs. This is not about hating women. This is about female nature, human nature. If you study it, you will notice patterns. And that's exactly what they did. They observed, and then they were like, hey, it's the good looking guys that get all the marbles. No shit, Sherlock. Avoiding stigma or stereotype. When considering the agenda, aspirations, or relationship potential of single men, especially men who have aged out of their younger years, we recognize that we shouldn't stereotype or stigmatize. But we also should recognize the potential absence of ulterior explanations for resisting relationships. Some self-assured men are simply single by choice. In a previous video about robot companions, I talked about only needing a woman for sex and having children. If I did not want a family, I would not have a woman right now. I'm in a small town overseas and I would be perfectly fine being by myself. I'm one of those guys who likes to be alone, and I've always found women exhausting. So I prefer to deal with women in a short period of time for a specific purpose. I used to hire women for certain projects, and I also stopped doing that. There's an article about an all-female media production company that self-destructed. We still have to release that video. However, that article highlights exactly the kind of drama I had to deal with when I was working with women. So in my experience, women fall into the fun, pleasure, and liability categories. We're living in a time where you don't have to be married to get some punani. You don't have to be in a relationship to get some punani. So if you get everything you need without the commitment, what's the point in committing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.